You are Locked On Trojans Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, hello and welcome to the Locked On USC Trojans Postcast on the Locked On USC YouTube channel, or is it the Locked On Trojans YouTube channel? I get confused all the time. We'll just say the Locked On USC Trojans YouTube channel. I am Pete Fox, covering sports in LA dating back to 2007 for ESPN LA and NBC Sports Radio. Covered the Trojans for a big part of that at USC. Went to practice every day for years. Went to almost every home game. And the reason I say that is because games like this aren't always complete blowouts. There are times, more than once, when the Trojans have lost games like this. So let's be happy and excited that it was a boring blowout win. That's what they need right now. It's a glorified practice. We all get it. And it could be worse. It could be the Dodgers, right? We could have had to watch the Dodger game today, which was an utter dumpster fire, a tire fire. I know we're going to talk mostly football tonight here on the Locked On USC Postcast, but we're going to talk a little bit about the disaster that is the Los Angeles Dodgers. Just unforgivable what happened today. I mean, I'm not a proponent of firing the coach when something like that goes wrong, but something needs to happen. Somebody needs to be an example for that team. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Yamamoto had a no-hitter into the ninth inning, 8 2/3 innings, gave up a home run. They pulled him. Blake P.O.S. Trinan comes in, walks two guys, hits a guy, gives up a double, 3-2. They pull him. They bring in the other disaster tire fire, Tanner Scott. He gives up the game-winning walk-off hit. Dodgers lose 4-3. They needed one freaking out. It's just unforgivable. It's disgusting. It's embarrassing. I'm done. I'm done. You guys are garbage. So the bullpen gets it together, and then they can't score a run to save their lives. I was listening to 80s on 8 recently on Sirius XM, and one of those VH1 or not, sorry, MTV VJs, what's his name? Alan Hunter described or told a story that Boy George describes the song Karma Chameleon as diarrhea through a wet sock. He's not a fan of the song, doesn't like performing it, just hates it, right? He's just over it. That's how I feel the Dodgers are right now. That's how I look at the Dodgers. That's the best way for me to describe this Dodger team. Diarrhea through a wet sock. It is awful. Well, this one is finally over. It is final. Trojans take care of Georgia Southern 59-20. Just a huge blowout. I mean, we could spend the whole time just going over the stats. Before we do that, I need to tell you this. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Trojans Postcast is brought to you by FanDuel. Football season is here. Visit FanDuel.com or the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets. Okay, that is dated because you can't do futures bets now because the season has already started. Anyway, start planning next week's bets. You could do that. You always got to be ahead of the game. You can't come in last minute. You got to do a little bit of prep, a little bit of research when you're making good bets, right? It's not just flip a coin willy-nilly. That works sometimes, but it's not going to work in the long run. So FanDuel.com or the FanDuel app. I need to figure out what's going on with ESPN.com today in this USC game. They don't have the normal stats. They don't have the drive plays. They just have some of the box score. So I've had to go to yahoo.com, which I'm never using. Or I have never used. I shouldn't say never. I rarely use. So I don't know my way around it, but it at least has the complete stat sheet of all the drives and the box score and everything. I mean, when we look at this game and say, who's the player of the game? You could easily pick 3 guys. And I don't know that I've ever done that before.
This is what you'll be talking about.
We'll be talking about a blowout route of a win for USC, or you could be talking about, they should win that game 59-20. Off to a good start offensively, looking good. I mean, this again, glorified practice, if you asked me. The fact is that this game is exactly what we expected, and they're just a much better team, the USC Trojans. They're in a different class than the Georgia Southern Eagles. So it's not at all surprising that this game was such a blowout. And I'm trying to find the box score for you. Maybe I'll have to go to ESPN.com to get that, because I cannot find it on Yahoo. I got the drives on Yahoo. I'll get the box score from USC, but since USC is not ranked, you got to dig a little deeper to get the box score into the Big Ten. But I would probably have to start with the first player of the game is...
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
So not co-players of the game. We have thrice players of the game. Jayden Maiava would be the first player of the game. 16 of 24, 412 yards, and 4 touchdowns. If I remember correctly, 3 of those 4 came in the first quarter. Jayden Maiava to Jacoby Lane for 12 yards after the Trojans fall behind. That's pretty funny. 6-0, I guess, the missed extra point there. Oh, they went for 2 and missed it. Another pass from Maiava to Makai Lemon for 62 yards. And then Maiava to Makai Lemon again, 74 yards. So big day for him, over 400 yards, played into the third quarter, which is kind of surprising. I think he wanted to hit that 400-yard number. But a fantastic day for him. You know, I was talking to Ryan Abraham from USCfootball.com, and I said, what are your thoughts so far about Jayden Maiava? He said, good, off to a good start, all is well. And I said, am I wrong in saying that it felt like at the end of last year, Maiava made the great passes frequently and missed the easy ones? And he said, yeah, that's pretty accurate, which is frustrating. And so far this year, we haven't seen that. Obviously, he's made a bunch of great passes. And I think we're going to get a different Jayden Maiava this year, to be sure. But I did see a couple of times where he had Makai Lemon open and just missed him. It was like throwing at his feet. So, let's hope he gets over that kind of stuff. And these sort of confidence building games, give him the headspace to go out there and beat good teams. We'll see. Next week against Purdue, it's a different test for sure. That is Big Ten conference play action. Purdue's not, Michigan State or Michigan or Ohio State, but they're also not Georgia Southern. So Makai Lemon also player of the game, along with Jayden Maiava. He had 4 receptions for 158 yards and 2 touchdowns. And from a running, we'll go, quarterback, receiver, and running back, because there was one guy in each category that had a huge, big game. And even though Eli Sanders had 2 touchdowns, ran the ball 8 times for 52 yards, Waymon Jordon, huge night at the Coliseum, 16 carries, 167 yards, along of just 36, averaging 10 per touch. His first game as a Trojan, over 100 yards and just 1 touchdown. So Waymon Jordon, a big night for USC as they win this one, by the way, 59-20. After the 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, the Eagles answered back. J.C. French passed to Camden Brown. That made it 21-13. Georgia Southern Eagles fans were like, hey, we're not dead yet. We're still in this. And then the Trojans scored a field goal. What? Yeah. That made it 24-13. Then Maiava passed to Walker Lyons. His first touchdown as a Trojan. That was a 14-yard strike, 31-13. Waymon Jordon rushed for 36, his long of the day, 38-13. Then Sanders, a 1-yard rush. Those were the only 2 touchdowns in the third quarter for the Trojans. So stopped throwing the ball a little bit, started running a little bit more. And then on to the fourth quarter, Sanders again, and King Miller busted one off the freshman, for 41 yards. That made it 59-20 where the game ended up. So a comfortable win, and all is well at the Coliseum, off to a good start for USC. And, they are, I feel like, stacked and ready to go for the Big Ten opener against Purdue. It is the Locked On USC Trojans postcast on the Locked On USC YouTube channel, where you can hear the Locked On Trojans daily podcast with Marc. Monday through Friday, gets in depth with what's going on in the Trojan universe. So make sure you check him out Monday through Friday. Locked On Trojans podcast on the Locked On Trojans YouTube channel. Tonight's episode of the Locked On USC Trojans postcast is brought to you by, what is going on with my mouse? It's just one of those nights. Yeah, of course it's not there. It's brought to you by Upside. Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you'll fill up your gas tank with the free Upside app. Simply download this app. Again, it's called Upside. You can do it at the App Store, Google Play, and start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited promo code FOOTBALL. You'll get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You could make up to $300 a year just from buying gas you already need. It is an app that I have used. I just used it the other day. I use it all the time, and I've earned cash back plenty of times. I usually let it kind of accumulate and then get $40, $50 and then have it sent back in cash. It is cash money, or they'll send you gift cards, whatever. Plenty of options. It's very cool. So don't let this offer drive by. Download the Upside app now using my limited time promo code FOOTBALL for a limited time 25 cents per gallon bonus. Again, that promo code is FOOTBALL. Offers may vary, user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. Tonight's episode also brought to you by Mazda. Mazda crafts cars for those who choose to do more than simply move. They follow what moves them every time they drive, and that's what makes Mazda stand out. They go beyond safety, style, and performance to deliver a driving experience that feels alive in every detail. Mazda offers more than safety. It's won the 2025 IIHS Safety Pick Plus Awards more than anyone else as of August 25th. You can feel it in the moment you get behind the wheel, the smooth handling, the intuitive controls, and standard all-wheel drive in every crossover SUV. I got close to buying a Mazda SUV hybrid once, and it was a very comfortable, spacious, luxurious ride. Sadly, it didn't happen for whatever reason. I don't even remember why, but I did enjoy that test drive, to be sure. It's the small details that make the big plays, and just like there's more to every player, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. Trojans 59, the Clay Helton coached Georgia Southern Eagles, former USC coach for 6 seasons. I was there through a good portion of that when he was like the offensive coordinator and then the interim head coach, He was the interim head coach twice. And it was one of those situations where people kept going, why don't they give the job to Clay Helton? Why don't they just give the job to Clay Helton? He's not filled with all sorts of drama like Steve Sarkisian or Lane Kiffin. And they did. And guess what happened? I mean, at the time, it felt like the right move. And shortly thereafter, a couple seasons in, it was like, not the right move. They need something more. Lincoln Riley was that more. Has it turned into more? No, absolutely not. But I don't think that Clay Helton would have gotten them there either. It didn't have that sort of je ne sais quoi. The panache of Clay Helton just didn't fit with USC. I mean, he was fine. He was great. Everybody loved him, but he just kind of didn't bring the swag that the Trojans head coach needs to have. Again, Maiava, 412 yards, 4 touchdowns. Hassan Longstreet came in 4 of 6, 34 yards. That dude just loves to run the ball. I have to assume that's because he's a freshman and he's just, trying to get his footing out there and get comfortable. And He'll actually only ran the ball once tonight. That's surprising. I guess I happened to see that one run. I feel like all he does is run the ball. But again, 4 of 6, 34 yards. That was a decent performance from him off the bench. King Miller, 3 carries, 55 yards. Eli Sanders, 8 for 52. Harry Dalton, the third, 3 for 24. And Maiava, 2 carries for 5 yards. The receiving numbers were huge. 446 yards, averaging 22 per reception. Makai Lemon had 4 for 158 to lead the way. Jacoby Lane, 3 for 91 and a touchdown. Zacharias Williams, 1 for 61. Walker Lyons, 2 for 40 and a touchdown. Lake McCree had 2 for 34. DJ Jordon, 3 catches for 28. Tanook Hines, 3 for 21. And Eli Sanders caught 2 balls for 13 yards. On the other side of the ball, the defensive side of things, Eric Gentry, 10 total tackles, 2 TFLs, and 1 sack. Bishop Fitzgerald had 6 solo tackles. So they were just all over the Eagles today, making life difficult for them. But at times, you looked across the line of scrimmage, and the Eagles were running the ball pretty effectively. I think for the Trojans, they're not going to put too much effort into stopping them. And, the bend don't break mentality was just fine. They ultimately ran the ball, did the Eagles for 142. Jamarian Samuel, 4 carries, 58 yards, and OJ Arnold, 8 carries for 45 yards. David, how do you say this guy's name? Mabadinga, 11 carries for 39 yards. So they got some effective chunk plays at times running the ball. And again, to me, it felt like the Trojan defense was like, bend, don't break. We'll give you some big chunks here and there, but we're not going to let you score on us at will. They did score, 20 points, and they led the game early. And again, drew to within 7 there in the second, but at no point in time did we ever feel like it was a threat. Drew to within 8 at 21-13, and that would be as close as they got. So the Trojans now 2-0. The Georgia Southern Eagles are 0-1. Tough start to their season for sure. And next week on the 13th, the Trojans will take on the Purdue Boilermakers in Indiana. That is on Saturday at 12:30 on Paramount Plus and CBS. The week after that, Michigan State, then number 11, Illinois, then Michigan, and Notre Dame. That is a gauntlet of teams right there. Michigan State, Illinois, Michigan, and Notre Dame all backed up in a row after Purdue. So suffice it to say, beating the Boilermakers will be of the essence to go into that game against the Spartans on the right foot and undefeated. Because what are the chances of them winning all 4 of those? Slim to none, and Slim just left town. If they could split that 4-game stretch, I feel like that would be positive for them because they would be 5-2 at that point, and beating 2 of 3 ranked teams, and who knows, Michigan State could be ranked by then, would be a feather in their cap. But we've got to start with the Purdue Boilermakers next week. Again, 12:30 in Indiana on Paramount Plus. That's going to do it for us here today. A comfortable win for the Trojans. The Dodgers are a dumpster fire and just tail spinning out of control like Maverick and Goose in Top Gun. It's awful. I don't know what to say or do anymore about that. I was when Yamamoto had the no-hitter going, I was going to punt on this and go do the Dodgers postcast because he's going to throw a no-hitter. 8 2/3. Then he gives up a home run. He had 112 pitches. It was a dumb pitch that he made, but yeah, you can't leave him in there after that. You've blown the no-hitter, so you're out. But you can't. Trinan and Tanner Scott can't get it out. God, it's just unbelievable. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Appreciate the comments as always. I am Pete Fox. It's the Locked On USC Trojans postcast on the Locked On USC YouTube channel. Take care. Have a good night. We will talk tomorrow as the Dodgers try to salvage one. I'll be doing Dodgers tomorrow. They'll try to not get swept by the lowly Baltimore Orioles. We'll talk after that.